I must have picked the wrong studio today.
Oh,
We live out here. I just want to say, I was waiting for my music to come on in my introduction, but I'm looking at Instagram. They got us up live already in the other media, and my music didn't come up. But that's okay. We going with the presentation. We gonna continue moving forward. I got David Moss out here with me early on. I hope my other guests come because I always get prepared. You know me, David. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. I'm real good, Ron. Appreciate you having me.
Man, shoes. As I look at this world and in the news today, David, tell me what's most affecting you.
I think what's most affecting me is just trying to get access to the right information. A lot of people just want to, whoever's first is what they
Yeah.
believe in versus, hey, pick a couple different, avenues, different avenues of information. Like, put in a little work, take 5 to 10 minutes
Mhm.
and then see if you can get the right information before you make a decision. Don't always try to find the fastest information.
Yeah, and I think that in today's times and with everything that's out there in the media and how it's presented and who's behind it, who's got what is it, the shoestrings, so to speak. They basically putting their own narrative out there, and I think that people see that narrative and they run with it. They don't try to do any more research. And I want to say before I give it back to David, and let him comment on that. Hey, we're live. I don't know what my studio presentation didn't come up. I don't know what happened to it, and we just trying to hang in there. I see Pastor coming in, David, but David, you're a media person, man. Let's see, Pastor ain't got there yet, but you're a media person, so you understand the stuff that's going on, sort of behind the scenes, and how they can control the media and everything that's going on out there. So, can you just enlighten us just a little bit? Because I know what the show is about, but I want to make sure we get as much information as we possibly can to our people that's listening in.
Well, now one of the things what I will say is I think a lot of it has to do with people don't necessarily believe the message, but they relate to it.
Mm-hmm.
So if I give a message that you relate to, you're more inclined to take that and then roll with it because it really is going along with your values. Don't mean it's true, but because you want it to be true, then you're acting on that. So I see it as more of they're trying to create the world that they want to see by going with whoever's saying what they want to hear. And so,
call David. That's Pastor A.F. Riggins calling me. Go ahead. I'm gonna pick it up in just a minute. But
so
I understand exactly what
I
you're
was
saying.
like, so I'm like, what you want to do is look into like, okay, I like what they're saying, but is this accurate?
Pastor, just a minute, David. Let me do this real quick. I'm sorry for cutting you off. Pastor, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I'm backstage. You're not letting me in.
I see your picture. I see your. I got you in, but the only thing that we're seeing is your protest thing. We're not seeing you in person.
Okay.
Because I got your picture. There you go. Just yeah. Now we got Pastor in. I'm gonna hang up this telephone, David. Go ahead and say what you were saying.
No, I was just saying, like, when you're looking at it, you want to look at the information, say, okay, is this accurate information? Not, I believe what they're saying is what I want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the difference, right? Like, okay, I like what they're saying because that's what I want to hear. So therefore, I'm going to go along with it, regardless if it's right or wrong, versus, well, let me check and see if it's accurate and this is right. And then let me put my bias on top of it and be like, okay, is this what I want to follow?
Yeah.
And I think if you do that, then you start realizing that these folks understand, like they're getting the metrics in and they understand that people react to this word or this terminology, right? Like that's good. That's one bad thing about AI. AI knows what people will react to. So it's telling them, hey, if you put this out there and say these terms, more people are going to click on this and look at it, regardless of that's actually what you're saying in the video.
Yeah.
Or that's actually what you mean.
Yeah, I understand, David. Pastor, let me introduce you to David Moss. He came in briefly last week on our show, but this is David Moss, and all those computer questions and how they rig elections and all that. By the time we get through with this show, you can ask David about how they can go about it and what's the procedures and all that. But I know what today's show is about: no king protests and grassroots organizing. So, Pastor, how was your day?
Pretty long run. Then right when I tried to come into the show, my computer decided to update.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, glad to meet you, David.
Glad to meet you,
We're having
sir.
a discussion tonight. Ron, I got a lot of information. How you have a lot of information? I got a lot of information tonight.
Okay, well, we can really go into the show, but if you want to talk about that conspiracy theory about election votes, we can do that real quick because David can jump in anywhere where we at.
Well, I'm going to come back to it.
Okay,
Let's try back into what we're talking about. The reason why
well, it's your show. I'm here.
We don't believe that Donald Trump, number one, is rightfully president of the United States, and his actions are showing that. I want to read something that I took down the other day. Listen to this. He's the most incompetent and corrupt president that we've ever seen. These are the facts. 97 times he's pleaded the fifth. He has 91 criminal charges against him. He's been mentioned 64 times in the Epstein report.
Mm-hmm.
It's 34 felony convictions.
Mm-hmm.
26 sexual assault allegations.
Mm-hmm.
6 bankruptcies. 5 draft deferments. 4 indictments. 2 impeachments. 2 convicted companies. 1 fake university. 1 fake charity. A $25 million fraud settlement. A $5 million sexual assault verdict. A $2 million fake charity abuse judgment. A $93 million sexual assault judgment, and $400+ million in fraud judgments.
Mm-hmm.
This is why he operates the way he operates. He literally commuted the sentence of Santos the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Said, "Oh, he's sorry and all this talk bad about him, but he voted Republican every time. Good luck with your new life." It's like, hey, you qualify to be in my corner because you are who you are, of being, at the character level of who Donald Trump is.
Mm-hmm.
One more thing, and then we can discuss. I have some more information. What I did this time, I saved the information so I can make sure I knew what I was talking about. Okay. Rand Paul, who's a Republican, starts Republican. Right now, he's upset with Donald Trump. You know why? Because Donald Trump is sitting in the Caribbean seas, actually murdering people in the name of he's fighting the drug war.
Mm-hmm.
Rand Paul says, the United States kills someone, you really should know who they're killing. He's not naming anybody he's killing. He's failed to provide any names of the people he's killed in these strikes. Even the president of Colombia said he has killed an innocent fisherman named Alejandro Carranza. His boat was damaged, turned off, sitting out there, and they just murdered him. Now they didn't do anything about it. All because he wants to have a war on what he called illegal aliens.
Mm-hmm.
This is why we are protesting, or the country is in the uproar against Donald Trump. I close with this and we'll discuss some more. Today, he asked Pam Bundy for the federal government to pay him $230 million because they've been investigating him since he was his first presidency. He's actually the DA of the United States to turn around and pay him $230 million.
I ain't watch that, Pastor, because he acted like he put up the money, but he didn't. It came out of his campaign fund.
No, but still don't listen to this.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying it's a difference what he's asking them to pay back came out of his campaign fund. It didn't come out of his personal.
I don't care if it came out of his personal money. Why would the United States taxpayer turn around and pay for his defense?
I agree with you.
What the founding fathers in 1798 or 1781 or wherever they did the Constitution never thought that in 2025 we'd be messing with a criminal like this. They had no capacity to put together a Constitution or rule that would encompass this. Go ahead, David.
Well, one thing I want to say is the issue I have with this discussion is you're assuming the general public cares about these facts. That's the problem.
I guess
we're up in arms because the general public, we believe, care. And what I'm telling you is they actually don't. That's the problem, right?
So 7 million people who protested.
Wait, Pastor. Let me do this. I got something for this. I'm gonna add to
speak out against Trump administration policies and what many of them see as Trump's turn toward authoritarianism.
I love this country, and I think protesting is like the most American thing we can be doing.
This is the most American thing that you can do. Protest and speak for what you believe in.
The people who come out here and fight and who want to resist, those are the people who make change. Those are the people who make history.
Hey, pause that 1 second, Ron, real quick. Now, what I would like to know, right, is if we can count, let's say 7 million of those people went out there, I would want to know how many of those people actually voted for Trump prior to this happening. And I promise you it's probably like 40%. 40% of those people that's out there protesting probably voted for him prior to all this happening because he never, think about it, right? He didn't get up there and lie and said he was a good dude and this and that. Like he acted as who he was. But that's what they wanted at the time. He was reflecting how they were feeling at the time. So they voted for him thinking that, oh, well, when he got in there, the presidency would make him better or change how he's going to behave or make him magically be wanting to help us. No, they got exactly what they wanted.
But they bit off more than they can chew, David.
I agree with you, but that's what
I'm saying. Why are you saying they don't care?
With that.
I'm thinking that they're starting to care because think about this. Beef prices are the highest they've ever been. Correct. I got a letter from one of my fellow pastors today who they knew someone who supported Trump, but they're into cattle business, and right now they're hurting.
Correct. And I think what we should do, right, is take this and don't let people forget moving forward. This is why we don't do this the way we did it. So we should take this and like I said this before, there should be a commercial that says, I love paying 20% more for a TV that costed 20% less last year. I love paying for more meat and doing all this. And then look at, oh, here's how much money I spend all year, this year, $2,000 extra just because of tariffs or this. And then like dumb it down to the bare bones. So people's like, man, you're right. I am paying way more for stuff just because this person want to act this way. And then that'll remind them to stop doing that, because I've had it in my job, in my regular job. I'll say, look, when I tell somebody, hey, don't go this route, or you're going to have these risks and these issues, when they go that route, you let them get the risk. You let them hurt when they go that route so that they know next time, don't touch that hot stove. You will get burned, but you can't like gloss it over and like, oh, it's okay. No, they got to feel that pain so they don't do it next time. So we ain't battling Trump now. What we battling is the next Trump. You don't want the next Trump because the one now is already in there. You don't want the next one that's going to take this, because that's what Republicans are going to do, right? They're going to try to replicate this over and over to get the next person voted in.
But what we hope, though, David, is that they care enough, because I believe you saying they don't care, but because you're saying the things that we're reminding them or showing them, we want 2026 to be where we put a stopgap.
Yes.
Man can't change who's in the White House, but if we can put a stopgap in the Congress, we can eliminate and try to minimize a lot of this. Now, Ron, you sent me something today. Asked me a question about if he got impeached and removed, if Vance would have 12. No, Vance would have 10 years. Because he's already in 2 years, right? Let's say 2026, we take the House, we take the Senate, and we get enough of people, Republicans and all, to say, look, Trump is done. And we impeach him and put him out. It'll take about a year for that to happen. He'd have 1 year left on his term. Vance would take over. He could win 2 more terms, which means he could go at least 9 years. If he was able to win both terms, he wouldn't be 12. But you're right. The principle is if he takes over the impeachment, he can run twice.
Well,
but
and that's what I'm saying.
To the impeachment, it's going to take about 3 years if it would really happen. You know what I'm saying? See what I'm saying, Brian?
And that's where we want to let them know, like, dude, like, because think about it, right? If you ask a normal person, how is Trump being the president he is affecting them personally? They can't tell you. They can't tell you. And that's where we have to come in. We have to tell them this is how it's affecting your day-to-day. Your child care is worse. You know, your gas is higher. You know, your food is higher. You're paying, like, you have to identify it that way. That's why grassroots work so well when you're going like when Barack won it, right? Because they were tackling it from that level of telling people how this is affecting your day-to-day. So therefore you want to vote against this. The normal person can't tell the difference. That's why nobody's worried about the government shutdown and everybody's applauding that they released 23 people from Israel that we don't care about. Like, you got people right now, they on furlough, and the Senate and the people in the Senate, they making money, but they won't release the government shutdown, and people don't know how that's affecting them directly. Except, like, you gotta boil everything down to that level.
Except next month, they won't get their check, and they will. They get their last check. They just got their last check.
And then that's what I'm saying. When that happens, then we have to put that on there as another reason. Like, hey, this will happen here. This will happen here. And then you just have that so they see, man, that happened to me personally. You know what? I don't want no more of this.
Hey, Dave, but also what I'm trying to say tonight is when you say grassroots is why I'm talking about the protest. The protest is the beginning of grassroots.
Yes.
It's the beginning of grassroots. That's how Barack Obama got in, because people began on the ground level and said, we want change. We believe in change. Well, this protest is the beginning of grassroots. It's not the end of it. It's the beginning of it. 7 million people out of 780 million votes is not a lot, but it's a spark.
I think what it does, and I hope that it didn't start too early, because it was a good turnout. It had a lot of people out there showing and stuff like that. But as we get closer to the election, we need to do the same thing. And protesting early, if you don't protest later toward the election, and here's my other fear, is that stuff don't start to change right at the time of the election takes place, and they feel like they get comfortable again, because the protests went on this weekend, and as you've seen, it was all over the country, and everybody was upset about what was going on. But as David said, and what
capitalize on that. That's just
if they voted for Trump and it gets better before the election, we're going to be on a different path. But we have to constantly remind them, Pastor. I think we have to remind them, if I'm right. Is that what you're saying? As we do protests?
Yes, because it's like a disaster, right? When you have a disaster, they always tell you, don't let a good disaster go to waste. Like, either you could take that disaster and turn it into great things moving forward, or you can keep having the same disaster over and over again. So now we did the first part of the protest. Now it's like, all right, make sure you're getting some of these people in their community to start doing that locally. In each one of their communities, like, okay, you're attacking this, you're working in this area to make sure these Republicans or whoever don't get voted back in. And like, we got to give them the blueprint to keep moving forward. So it was so successful. So who's taking the charge in these different areas that we call, the hotspot areas like Ohio, Pennsylvania? Like, who's taking the charge on the Democrat side to say, all right, those people that protested that was there, let's put them in part of what we're doing and take that momentum and keep it going. Let's put the ads out, right? There should be ads nationally showing the protests and why people are upset and how it affects you directly every week right now. Like, you can't just rest on your laurels. You got to take that and blow it up. It's like ripples in a lake, right? If you drop one stone in the lake, it don't do nothing. But if you drop one stone and before the ripple end, you drop another one and another one on the edge, and then you can turn that into a big wave at the other end of the lake.
Hey, David, let me tell you something else. You're correct on that. What Trump does, he's the master of distraction.
Yeah.
Right now, in the middle of all this, two things are going on. They won't seat the congresswoman that won so they can have the vote on the Epstein file. Okay, first thing. Second thing is, oh, by the way, I'm tearing down the east wing of.
And people get up in arms on that.
That hurts. Pastor, somebody pointed out, Pastor, you froze up. I don't know if it's your internet connection, but one of the things that they pointed out this evening was that Black people build the White House. And it's like he's saying the hell with it. And I'm just gonna tear it down and I'm gonna take Black people out of the equation. I'm just gonna whatever they did, it's like it hurts. But there's nothing
you can't get distracted with that. Like,
you might want to try again.
We should all be focused on the protest, how well that went, and relaying those same messages over and over again. Like, that's what, like the good Lord says, like the devil will try to distract you to get you off the right path. And that's when you know you're doing a good job and you're where you're supposed to be. And you just can't fall for that.
Yeah, and David, I mean the messaging, we have when Pastor called back in, I'm gonna get him back to the stage, but our messaging has to be on point too. Hey, Tyrone. Hey, D. I see y'all out there. I want to acknowledge you, but we kind of got into a discussion, and everybody has their views. So you know how we do over here. We just continue to go. But I want to acknowledge you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for taking your time tonight. But David, we have to get our messaging correct. I think that
correct.
If our goal is to change the midterm, even doing all this protests, you can go out there and protest, and you could have the No King protest, grassroots organizing, and have 7 million people across the country. But if you don't have,
you got to organize that afterwards.
Messaging, you're gonna lose them, and you got their attention.
And I also think that we need to stop going after Trump directly. Like, what we need to go after is the ideal of what we want the president to be. The ideal is we want this, right? Because now, okay, come put it this way, right? Now that we hired Trump like that, why can't we have a minority that bad, right? Like, why can't we go hire a minority person that has all those same issues and put them in there? Like, is that what you want? Do you want, another minority just like that? Or do we want the president to be the best of us and represent us in a way that show that we care about these values, these things? That's what we have to do. Like, going after him isn't going to work because people liked it that. What you got to say is like, okay, do you prefer, how I want to say, do you prefer filet mignon steak or you prefer skirt steak? And be like, well, I don't want no skirt steak. I want filet mignon. Okay, why? Because it's nice and soft and it tastes good. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what we got to get out of. Like, that's the distraction, I believe. Let's take it away and say, what do we want the president office to represent?
Yeah, and I was looking for Pastor Riggins to call back in, but Sean, you're absolutely right. We should care less about the ballroom that he's building.
Yeah,
it's a shutdown, and that's how he chooses to spend taxpayer dollars. As Pastor was alluding to earlier, he's trying to get back some money from taxpayers. He's supposed to represent the people. I mean, if you or me or anybody went out there and fought and had a court case going on, I don't care who we was, we're gonna have to come up out of our pockets and pay for it. So I don't know why you feel like the government has to pay for it. A.F. Riggins coming back in now. So
and I feel like we should be upset with our representatives for letting the shutdown happen. Like, don't worry about Trump. Like, why, if you are a representative, why would you let a shutdown happen and then people furlong and then you're like, oh, we're going to pay you all that extra money after the fact? Like, no, you should not be using the government shutdown as a way to manipulate people to add stuff into a bill. Like, literally, guys, like your only job, your only job is to work together. When we don't think about it, they don't go into office every day. They literally go in office maybe like 20 days out of the year. And your only job is to make sure the government don't shut down. And you can't do that. That's what we should be upset with. And make them like, moving forward, you're not going to get paid next time. That's what we're going to do. If you shut down the government again, nobody get paid. And I bet you we never have a shutdown again. If everybody didn't get paid, we wouldn't have another shutdown.
Here's another thing, man. This is a prime example of how the Democrats always play checkers while the Republicans play chess. When the last, what they called it, when they extended it the last time, it was like a, when they extended it, they told you that coming up in October, it was going to come around again.
Yep.
On that day they extended it, the Democrats immediately should start working on how we're going to make sure that when it comes up again, we have in place. They waited until the week of or 2 weeks before, when the media starts screaming, shutdown is coming, all of a sudden, we're going to stonewall. We're going to go ahead and make all these speeches, and we're not going to vote to keep it open unless you give it. No, we should have been working all along.
Well, and that's the whole point. Like when it got extended, it should have been like, okay, we're staying up at the Capitol until we sign it. So that means y'all stay up here, and we're not going to give you extra pay. You'll get the same pay you would have got, but you're going to stay up here until it gets done. It would have been done by April.
Right.
Well, let me. Hey, Pastor, let me.
Some kind of continuing resolution. Go ahead.
No, what I want to say is that if we want them to act as politicians, we should, every time the government shut down, we should tie their pay to that shutdown. Right now, they still getting paid while everybody else is suffering.
Correct.
So we got to figure out how to tie their pay to that shutdown. But I guarantee they won't let that hit the floor.
No, let me tell you something.
But somebody should actually bring that up, right? Like if you're part of that group and you're trying to do the right thing, and you don't want people like you'll hear them go on the news and say we don't want people to use the government as a tool and this and that. Okay, at least present it to the floor. If you present it to the floor, then we know really who's about real business, right? Who's really trying to do the right thing at it.
Pastor, what were you saying?
I'm going two things I'm saying. They just think there's a group called the Gang of Eight that he's talking about. Once Trump got in office the first time, that whole concept of we're going to have civil-minded, moderate Republicans and Democrats working together, they all went out the window. Then the second thing, I saw that what's her name? Positive D is talking about him tearing down that part of the White House. You own the house. Let me tell you that. Let me tell you two things behind this. Number one, African Americans built the White House. Let me say it again. African Americans built the White House. I'm gonna say it a third time. African Americans built the White House, and he's trying to erase, whether it's literally, whether it's physically, whether it's in literature, whether it's in museums, whatever he can, try to erase African American history. He tears down the east end of the White House and builds a ballroom bigger than the actual White House. Let me say it again. The White House itself has the Oval Offices and businesses and all type of stuff, offices in there where transactions happen and meetings happen and the Situation Room and all this stuff. He wants to build a ballroom for dancing bigger than the whole White House. That's his concept of, I don't give a care. That's not the word he's using. About what I'm doing as president. It's all about fun and games and making money to me. Think about it.
Yeah, and Pastor, I know exactly what you're saying, but it's a bigger thing to that. And one of the reasons why he wants to do that, I think, is because he wants his name to stay attached to the White House as long as he possibly can. And this is the Trump wing. You know, you go in the Jefferson's room and you go into all these different people, and he wants his name to be attached to the White House. I hope whoever gets in the White House next time just automatically goes out there and restore it right back to where it was. Because this is just crazy.
Rename the ballroom, the people ballroom or something.
Yeah, that's crazy. But here's the deal, Pastor. We got
actually, you know what, Ron, I prefer them to leave it and then do whenever some crap happens, do a media in there when crap happens, so everybody know that whenever some shit go down, we have a media in the Trump ballroom. So it reminds people how stupid that was that they do. Don't tear it down. Like, let's show it every damn time we have some crazy crap happening. Just like when the media go into the hood and they try to figure out, they get the stupidest guy to talk about what's going on. That's what we should do it. That should be that room. We should do it in that room every time.
Hey, Pastor, go ahead and take these comments.
That's what probably D saying what you're saying. Ron, she thinks he's going to do something in his name. And that's right, positive. He wants to do something in his name, but it's a twofold thing. Stephen Miller, let me tell you something. Stephen Miller is behind every racist move that Trump makes. He's very, very intelligent. He's saying to Trump, do something in your name. And guess what? While you're doing it in your name, you've been tearing down what these African-American people built too. So they're not using the word African-American, they use something else. But you're right. It's all about putting his name out there. He even wanted to rename the Kennedy Center after himself.
Yeah.
The other part of that, Pastor, I don't know if you've seen his meme response to that. David said all those words, talking about somebody using the bathroom on people. Did you see that meme where he's in the jet and he's flying over the citizens and he's dropping poop everywhere all over them? Have you seen that meme yet?
I heard about it. Let me tell you something. Literally though, I told y'all this about a year or so ago. Trump himself uses the restroom himself a lot. Karen Hunter, the Karen Hunter show. I mean, you listen to the Karen Hunter show, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he was running for president the second time, somebody came on to talk about him. When he was doing The Apprentice, they called The Apprentice the It Show. Because literally, he would sit there with a diaper on, use the restroom himself. Stinking up in there. Can't control the bowel movements. People say, well, why? Because that stuff is important. He wants to be he's high in sedity. He's better than everybody else. You have health problems. Nothing wrong. I mean, everybody got health problems. You can't even control your own bowel movements, but you want to talk about everybody. Y'all talk about blank hole countries and this kind of debt and all that kind of crazy stuff and blank hole cities. And he actually using the restroom on himself. So that means it's really him projecting himself, what he really does in real life anyway.
One of the things I like to tell people too is the tariffs. I don't think people pay enough attention to that, because you realize, like, when you piss off some of these countries, like, it takes like years, like up to 8 to 10 years for you to get that back. That means everything you buy from that country for the next 8 to 10 years is going to be expensive. Like, you can't bring that stuff back to the U.S. You can't bring manufacturing back to the U.S. You could try as much as you want. We don't actually make the minerals like that. So when you go do all that to Colombia and all those other countries with stuff that we need that come back from that, that's what's going to happen. And what happens, right, is you have the rich people who ain't going to really care because they got the money. And then you got the poor people that's uber poor and that's getting government assistance. It's going to hurt everybody in the middle that's trying to do the right thing and it's going to hurt that group. And all they're going to do is pass that stuff down, or what they'll end up doing is like, okay, like McDonald's or whoever, they'll be like, yeah, we're going to use AI and do no tellers in the store now. So now we're going to get rid of jobs to try to keep your burger down to $8. We're going to remove all the cashiers and everything and just do automation in there. And once they go that route, there is no coming back. Like, they're not going to bring tellers back.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you, because you see it every day. But Pastor, here's the thing that I really want to tie this back to. That's the reason why people are out in the streets. People are missing paychecks. They're not getting paid. More and more people falling off on the wayside. They're making a sacrifice, but eventually somebody's going to have to make a decision. And Pastor, as you talked about the No King protest that just happens, this is affecting a lot of people in America. And I see your signs back there say we demand voting rights. All of that's going away. I mean, he's trying to take that away. I see the sign on the other side. We demand an end to police brutality right now that you got out there. But that stuff is affecting everyday people. Until we can get them into a place where we realize that there's people out there making sacrifices for this country being shut down.
Well, and then like the job reports. You remember, like, the job report used to be really extremely needed for stocks and everything. Like, how well are the jobs doing? How well are people letting people go and people getting hired? You know, it's like you don't get that job report no more.
Because he got mad because the job report is showing a bad economy.
Correct.
He fired the person.
Correct. So now you're getting that, right? At some point, when everybody really hits that and that start coming through, and everybody's feeling that, like it's gonna get real bad for people that can't buy things, and then homeless is going up. So it's like everybody knows, like when you get in a hole, it takes twice as much effort and money to get out of a hole than it is to dig one. And right now, we're allowing that hole to be digged.
Yes, sir. It goes back to what Positive D is saying. He wants us looking at the White House to keep us off the focus of what's really going on. She said we should be focusing on something else. Now he's doing the White House is always attacking. That's why I said he's the master of distraction. Like he's trying to distract because he knows that, listen, that we're suffering, man. We're suffering. When I say we, personally, we might not be suffering yet personally, but we as a community, we as a people, and eventually it seeps into every one of our homes and one of our books.
And that's why I believe we got to go talk to our representatives, right? Think about this, right? Whenever the police is trying to find the drug kingpin, what they do, they hit the streets and they hit the low-level dealers and they work their way up. They don't go hit the big guy right at front. We got to take that same tactic. You know what? Go hit your senator, your representative, and be like, I don't want this. Like, make them suffer, and then guess what they do? You know what? We're going to make this suffer. And then they're going to tackle that and go after that. Like, that's what you got to do. Like, make your voices heard in the midterm election, David, and tackle it there.
I agree with you, but here's the deal. And we talked about this last week. Even if you got a representative representing you, Pastor, you remember this? We had Jasmine Crockett. Yeah. And then we had this crazy fool named Stephen A. Smith with a big mic. He wants to tear down what she's doing and how she's going about doing it, but he's not doing no research on the effort that she's putting in Congress. And we said that last week. So you got people out there fighting. Jasmine Crockett, what's her name, Pastor? Come on. AOC that's out there. You got different congressmen that's coming into place. And you even got people on the other side of the aisle that's saying the same thing. We got to change this. But I just hope that we're strong enough, and I hope that our people have the ability to go and miss a paycheck because it's coming. But we're gonna have to. I said it this morning during a text that we're gonna have to strengthen. We're gonna have to be prepared to help our people get through this.
Yeah,
if the Democrats decide to stand up and continue to go through the process, Pastor, I know it's gonna be hard. Me and you not doing it. David's not doing it. And David's in Sacramento right now. So I'm just saying, we'll be able to get a different perspective as we bring people in this. But Pastor, I need you to tell me, what should we be doing? Because I'm looking at the people suffering, but I can't let go of the big picture of the medical part of it.
Man, here's what we got to do, man. We have to, education is very important. We're not talking about like going to school. We're talking about educating, like David said, the public. Mm-hmm. If they can look and see that, listen, if we don't get this thing, because they've been trying to take Obamacare out all along. He couldn't do it legally. He couldn't do it through John McCain stopped it, all this stuff. None of it going around at the edges. And now this is part of it. If they can get the credits out of it, then they'll make it be non-effective. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're standing on right now. That the Democrats have made a stand that they won't open up the House until you give us Obamacare. The Republican says we're not going to work on this until you open up the House. But they're going to switch. They're going to bake and switch. If they vote to open the government back up, you know what I mean? They're going to say, guess what? We're not going to give y'all what y'all need in health care. Mm-hmm. So they're playing chicken. They're playing chicken right now. And we're stuck in the middle. The public, the people in like you said, in your district are stuck in the middle. Next month, Thanksgiving time. Somebody said Thanksgiving time, we're not gonna get our food stamps. So I heard somebody say that.
Yeah, and then my thing is when you don't, that's when you gotta have that resolve, right? When you look at the days of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, right? Those people that sat on the bus, went there, they knew they were coming with dogs and everything else. And they were like, we're gonna stand here and we're gonna take it. Because we know if we stand now, it's gonna be better later. And that's what we got to do. Like everybody say they about that, right? I'm about my money and I'm about that. Well, now is the time to show you about that. If your food stamps don't show up, you need to be up at your local office until you get some food stamps. Like somebody gonna show up with my food stamps and what I need. And then we should gather around those people and then show that. and put that on social media and put that out there. Make that go viral. That's what we have to do. Like, I believe like we had to get together and give people the playbook on what they can do to really make a difference. And then everybody do it at the same time, right? When you look at, when you look at guerrilla warfare, right? What they do is they hit them on all different areas. And they don't just hit them coming from the front. They come from the side. They come from the back. Like, we got to go back and do those type of tactics if we want to do that. And then just do it everywhere. Like, you know what? This is the day we're going to play. Then we did the plan for the rally. That's the day we do that. Okay, we're going to do another one. And another one is this is what we're going to do. We're going to have people sign online. Sign the petition online that says you want this. And then we're going to email it and call into your representative. If you're in Houston, here's your representatives. Here's their office. Here's their phone numbers. Like, we just got to put in that work.
It sounds like a good plan, David, but here's the Democrat problem. They don't. It's almost like they don't have an agenda of what they're trying to do and what they're trying to accomplish. And I know people will come back and they Pastor, I know they'll come back and tell you, if you listen to other shows out there and if you follow what they're saying, they say that they have an agenda and they say that they have somewhere for you to go. And they say that, but they don't never come out and give you an actual plan of how to go about doing it. And Pastor, we've been discussing this for years and years and years, and we're right back to where we was. So Pastor, help me and help David and anybody else out there listening to understand what is it going to take, Pastor?
It's going to take next few months, about 1 year, 13 months to galvanize to make 2026 elections the most important election of our life. It's not even running for president because that's not
what Byron Glass says.
Yeah, right. It's not on the ballot. President not on the ballot, but he is on the ballot. Mm-hmm. Because he's on the ballot because if we don't flip this house and get enough of votes in the Senate to all these 1 or 2 senators to stand with the Democrats and they vote, we're going to be in a world of trouble. Because 2027, everything in the big beautiful bill is going to take effect, and we're going to need to have a Congress to try to reverse all that. And then 2028 election coming around, Trump is going to try to find a way to stay in office, or make sure J.D. Vance stays in office, and he stays advisor to J.D. Vance.
My thing is, if Democrats need help, they just call me up. I'll write a plan for you.
But they don't want to
listen. I will do it for free. I'll do it for free. And you just call me up and we get in the room and we can knock it out over a weekend. Trust.
But will they enact it? That's what
that's the thing. Yes, they got to do it.
They have the courage to put it in place.
But I don't even know if they have one to begin with. So it's like, at least you got, you get one, you at least get the plan. And then my thing is when you win the Senate, that's when you start. The plan don't stop when you win it, right? Yes. Like, you got to have your plan out there. All right, once we win it, here's what we're going to be doing, and here's how we're going to be doing it, and keep it going. It's just like when we do it in business, right? Like when you do a short-term strategic plan and you do a long-term strategic plan. Here's the stuff we got to do in the short term. Here's the stuff we got to do in the long term. And then you constantly reviewing that plan as things change, but then you make sure everybody on the team know the plan and you go at it. And like I said, I've done it a lot of times in business and IT, so they need some help.
David, I'm gonna cut you off right there because that sounds real good. But do you know how many Democrats we done seen that did that? Hell, just think about what woke them up from where they was in slumber. They was asleep until somebody started calling them on the action that they had did. And then all of a sudden they woke up and then they finally discovered that they had some real issues out there and they stood strong. So as I listen and as I try to engage with that, I have to see it because those are great plans. I'm telling you, they're great, but them implementing them, Pastor, we done went down this road so many times that they got to implement something, and if they don't stand behind where they're at right now, This is the first time I ever seen them have something on Trump where he has where he gonna have to talk. This is government, Pastor. He gonna have to open up his mouth and talk to the other side. He is saying, no, I ain't gotta talk, I ain't gotta say nothing, but it's not my responsibility that the country is shut down. That's crazy.
2018, he shut down the government. The longest government was shut down in 2019. We forgot about it. We forgot about it because of the pandemic.
But you know what's funny, right? It's like he ain't doing nothing different than what he did the first time.
Yeah.
He doing the exact same thing. The government shut down, the tariffs, acting crazy. He ain't doing a different playbook.
Yeah.
It's the same exact playbook. So it's like, it's like either, I just feel at the end of the day, like if you are the folks in that group as a Democrat office, like what are you in there for? If your job isn't to help it be better than what it is, then what you in there for? And if you in there just to make some money, then come out and say that. And then we can put people in there that want to be in there. And I also think they should change it. You should not be able to be a lifer congressman. You should get 8 years. You get 8 years and you done. You don't get no more. And if we did that, guess what? We wouldn't have these problems because now they're in there, like I'm gonna be honest with you. If you're 80 years old, I don't think you can help in technology. If you're 80, I think AI is a little too much for you to understand at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like how many good more ideas you got? Because you ran through a lot of them. You was there when you was 30. That's 50 years. Maybe somebody else need to be in there. And I think that's the problem. It shouldn't be a career. It should be a service. Yeah. And you get 8 years and you out, and then somebody else come in and they do it.
Right. We need term limits. We need term limits for Congress, and we don't have that.
Correct. Because then it's harder to bribe people, right? If you know every 8 years you got to bribe new people, you're running out of money. There's a lot of money you got to be bribing. Right now, you can bribe one senator and, his number may be $5 million. And you got him for the next 20 years.
Yeah. Let me say something. Sean is saying this. Currently, we're unclear on the voice of the leader. The approach would work. We could use a voice. Sean, I think there is a voice out there, and Trump doesn't like it. His name is Gavin Newsom.
I agree with
you. It's giving him all the blues he can take. We have got to get behind Gavin Newsom. Don't let it be a California thing. Because, see, California is always known as the wildest, weirdest, craziest state out there. And yeah, they got 55, whatever votes. But, they're out there. No, we need to galvanize behind Gavin Newsom and ride it. Just like we rode with Barack Obama, we need to ride with Gavin Newsom until the wheels run off.
I agree with that. And I also think that we can't lose Ohio again.
Yeah.
Ohio, I don't know why we keep losing Ohio. They had their kind of been suffering for the last 20 years and we can't win it. Ain't nobody did I ain't seen the last couple of Republican presidents help Ohio out. Just saying. But they keep
David, one of the things that fits with messaging is this. As Democrats, and Pastor, I could be wrong on this, but I heard this, and I listened to my favorite show. We're not going into when we are trying to win elections. The Democrats take their money and put it into areas that they think that they can win. They're not going into the strong blue areas and putting money behind the candidates and supporting them, giving them a leg to stand up on. But they're taking that money and they putting it into areas, they're spreading it everywhere else, but where they need to be able to win. And they feel like it's a waste of money. Like Texas, I'm going to give you an example. Like Texas, they don't spend a lot of money in Texas. These people that win, they basically win on their own. And we can show that on paper if we could.
And I also think there needs to be an 8-year strategy. Okay, we're going to try to do this to win the 4 years. And the minute we lose, that, we're going to do this part to make sure we don't lose the next side. And you keep that rolling. I think what happens is they're very reactive. They're not proactive. So what we do is we try to stop Trump. Then when that didn't happen, now we're attacking him, but we're not realizing what we got to do for the next 4 years to make sure we don't lose that one. And so then when you don't see the things come out and you don't hear the certain things happening, until it's too late. Like you can't wait 2 years before the election to start doing something. You got to do it now. Like you got to be doing it now, and then you got to prep people, right? I heard in business, for somebody to buy something online, they have to see an ad 41 times now. For somebody to buy what you're selling, they got to see it 41 times. So if you try to get somebody to vote for you, you taking that into account, that means you got to produce literature in different areas up to at least 40 times for somebody to say, you know what, I believe what you're saying, I want to vote for that. That's a lot of work if you're trying to do that a year before the election.
And it costs money. Let's not forget about the money part of it, David.
Correct.
Pastor, take these questions, and then I want you to jump in on some of the stuff that you want to talk about later on tonight, because we know, you know, with government, when you talk about politics, you're gonna run out of time.
Yeah,
going on. We run out of time because
Pastor Lee said that's the problem they're having with the government in Homestead in Florida City. He's been in government over 20 years. He's crooked business mansion in the neighborhood, etc. Right. You get a person over there that have no term limits. Oh, Abbott, Texas. Abbott is king. I hate to say it. There are no term limits in Texas. Trump really wants to run the United States the way Abbott runs Texas. If you notice, look at the model. Everything Abbott does, Trump trying to get done on a national level because nobody can move Abbott because they don't have any term limits. Am I right, Ron, or not?
You're right. But the other thing that's out there is that even I mean, if you look at Texas as a whole, and if you ever seen, I know Davidson looked at it probably, but if you look at it on a map, and they show the voters that's within certain areas, and they identify the Republicans and the Democrats, you're gonna have those pockets within Texas. But all them rural areas that's out there, they're not red. And you're going to have blue pockets. If you even go across the United States and you look at those states, some of the states that we're calling out, it's because they have a majority of Black people or they have majority of Democrats in larger areas. But if you really break it down by state, it's more red out there than anything else. Come on, Pastor.
No. Let me tell you what's up, Ron. Texas, demographic wise, is Democrat. But listen to me. When you go to the inner city in the blue pockets, if you're not eligible to vote because you're a felon, you're not eligible to vote because your address don't match your driver's license. You're not eligible, or you're not interested in voting. Those red pockets out there, those red, broad red things, 80 to 90% of them are going to vote.
Okay, so
that's a great point. 30% of us are going to vote.
Okay, so that's a great point. Well, okay, so let's switch it on the head right there, right? Instead of us trying to get our folks to vote, how about we change how the people that already vote, get them to change what their vote is? Because they're already willing to vote, right? So it's like, okay, can we change the message to say, you know what, I normally would vote Republican, but you know what, I like what you're saying and I agree with it to the point where I'm willing to vote Democrat this time. Because it's a lot harder to convince somebody to go do something they ain't never done than change somebody to do something they've already done, but change them to do it different.
So you're saying we got to go out to the rural and try to get those rules to change?
Yes, because the rural people, right?
Well, that's what Obama did.
That's what I'm saying.
Correct. But he crisscrossed the whole Illinois running for senator.
Because when you look at how they
got those Republicans to vote for him.
Correct. But when you looked at how he did it, those rural people suffer from lack of water, lack of jobs, lack of those things. So they tackle what they were suffering from and say, hey, because you're having this because of this. And they're like, you're right. I should. Well, I won't have that problem here. I'll tackle that. A lot of those rural folks, right, what they're suffering from in a lot of those areas is they don't like immigrants because they believe the immigrants are hurting some of the farms that they don't have workers for. So then you had to switch that. Like, you know what? The immigrants ain't the problem. Quit hiring illegal workers. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to punish you if you hire illegal workers. So therefore, now you have to go hire people and pay them what they deserve to be paid. Then you won't have that problem. So then that's the biggest issue with illegal folks is the workers. A lot of those rural areas, those farms, right? They get those illegal workers and then they undersell the people that are trying to do the right thing at their farms that don't do that. And they complain like, see, why we keep having them coming over and doing that? And so that's what I'm saying, like understanding what those plights are and doing that, I believe is a lot easier and maintainable to do that than just try to convince somebody to vote and to care about something they don't care about.
David, here's my argument to what you say. Pastor, if you want to say something, go ahead.
I'm listening, Ron. I'm listening to you, Ron.
Here's my argument to what you say. Our youth are not going out in that field. I don't care where they at. They ain't going out there doing no work that what we call illegal people coming over here. They ain't doing it. They'll basically tell you, I'll sit right here wherever I'm at. I'm not going out there doing that manual labor. We didn't have people. I didn't see people, those young guys come on and say, no, I'm not doing that. You know, and then as we graduate into it, I mean, what I hate about it is all this sounds good, but what Pastor covered, I think it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago, the stuff that's going to hurt the rural areas is not going to take place till after the elections. And then like they paying attention now, they're going to have to pay attention because those hospitals, those small hospitals in those rural areas, they're going to have to run to the cities because they ain't going to have funding for none of that.
But that's the thing. If the playbook is the same by the organization, that means the results are going to be the same or worse. So if you look back, before Biden got in place in the last few years, those results are there. It's just everybody's glossing over that. The Democrats ain't pulling those results. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're doing the same thing, you're going to get the same results or worse. So those same results for the rural people happened 8 years ago. They're still in that hole. That hole was like 6 feet. Maybe it's 3 feet now, but they're still in that hole. They just don't realize it because they've been in it so long. And we have to remind them, say, dude, you're in the hole today. And the reason why you're in the hole is because of these things. And if you keep going, you're going to go further down in the hole. You're not going to come up.
But and Pastor, you know, first they have to realize where they at. And what's my girl name? What's she say? If they knew they were slaves,
then they would rise up.
Were slaves, I could have saved more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's what.
Right, that rural voter knows that they're being used by Trump. He's a grifter. He never built a wall. He's a grifter. He's all about himself. He's making millions and millions of dollars off the government, but saying, I'm your champion. I'm your retribution. Really?
Because they don't see the results. Yeah, they don't see the results in the real world. So they're going off what they hear the most, right? Like right now, if I turn on the TV, I'll hear more from Republican people about how they're voting for Trump and these are the things Trump is doing for them people than I will see a Democrat add on.
Very good.
Same different.
Absolutely. Come on, BG. I know you just joined the conversation, but you know what? I don't want to take away from the subject matter where we at. So, Pastor, come on in. I'm gonna let you introduce Byron, and we're gonna go from there.
Barry Glass is a friend of mine since 1989. We started the NAACP on Northeast Louisiana University campus. We were college mates. We connected in 2010, and then when Obama started running against Romney, we started interacting on social media about politics. In 2015, we got together with Ron, and we've been running ever since. Now, Baron, you're supposed to got me hooked up to debate Stephen A. Smith. Now, let me say something came to my mind, though, guys. I was talking about being able to debate him, right? Let me tell you, I'm going to be debating Stephen A. Smith if I ever debate him and a whole crew of people, which means because he have what you call producers, researchers, and everything. He's just going to be spewing out whatever they put him on the paper. But guess what I need behind me? I need Baron Glass, and Ron Spikes, and David, I got my whole crew behind me spitting out stuff because it ain't gonna be just me against Stephen A. Smith. They have producers and everything be there, giving them all kinds of stuff. That's how they be able to do all the stats and sports and stuff. They'll be there talking, and somebody feeding them information, and they take the information and they work off of it. So even though I got a lot of history, a lot of memory, and a lot of study inside of me, I'm gonna need all of y'all to go against Stephen A. Smith.
What I would say is I would also agree with him on certain things and ask him how to fix it. Because I mean, we can argue about what's wrong all day, but if you don't have an answer on how to fix it, then what's the point?
I understand, yeah.
And they never come up with answers on how to fix anything. Like I'm like, whether it will work or not, still, here's what I would try to do or this and that, and then, that ain't my space. Well, if that ain't your space, why are you talking about it? If you ain't gonna have the action along with the argument, then it's like faith without work, right?
Yeah. America says Democrats should get busy now.
Yes.
That's what know what, Pastor, I'm gonna let Glass take that one because that's what we've been doing. That's the reason why we started this thing back again, was because we need to be busy now, right, Glass? Not tomorrow, not yesterday, not in the future. We need to be busy now, and that's what we're talking about. Come on, Glass.
Hey, Mr. Spikes, I don't need the stage. I'm sitting here listening. I already know what the guest is talking about. I wanted to make sure that I kind of chimed in because I want to hear some of that statistical data. But again, if we don't get out and vote in 2026, it's almost, well, it ain't almost, it will be over with. Riggins, to answer your question, I have gotten information, but I'm being very tactical with what I say rather than speaking from the feelings. I need to speak from a fact standpoint, but you can rest assured, if it does happen, you ain't got to worry about me not being present because I'm going to be right beside you.
Yes, sir. All right. Yeah.
Y'all can proceed.
Yes, sir. David has a lot of statistics about what's going on. You're talking about AI. Let me tell you something. We believe that the vote was stolen. It's going to take a couple of years to prove it, probably. But AI and GPT chat is going to be part of the next 2026 election again.
Okay, Pastor. You went there. So I got David before you asked this question. Now, I'm gonna ask this in a way where you can understand it and where Pastor can get it, because I agree with Pastor in the sense after I heard some more information about the election. Now, if you got control of the machines before the elections and you put in parameters that can take out whatever they need to take out or change the vote. Maybe I'm not using the right terminology. You can use it, David. But if the parameters are already set up within the machine, they're gonna kick out everything else and have it display whatever they wanted to. Am I right? Give me the
So theoretically, yes, you are right, and I say theoretically. Why? Because anything is possible. Now, what I was gonna say is let's look at it this way. Now, I'm not saying it couldn't be done, but are you telling me the people currently in office is smart enough to actually pull it off?
Oh no! Wait, hold up! I agree with you. Let me get a story for you. If Elon Musk is a part of the machines that's going in place for the local voters, it's a whole different story. The dynamics change. I know Pastor, you coming in, but
here's the key with that, Ron. Right?
Okay.
They actually damaged it themselves. Okay. If everybody was doing electronic voting, yes, it would be way more easier to do it. But because they decided to do hand voting and do all this crazy stuff in other areas, you can't do it. Because the only way it works is if you got 90%. If you got
that's why Trump trying to stop the mail-in vote, though.
I'm gonna yield to you, Pastor.
Electronically.
That's why Trump is trying to stop the mail-in vote, brother. They want to make sure everything stays in the computers.
Right.
I believe, because when they purged, see what happened was less people voted in 2024 than 2020. No, that didn't really happen. More people voted, they purged the vote.
Well, so
man,
I'm not saying
having all those guys and all those women was having all those Zoom calls with Harris. She raised $1 billion and she loses. They purged the vote.
Okay,
But
so
also, Pastor, tell me the other part, David. Before you jump in, I want you to get the whole story. Pastor, tell me the other part that you was telling us about how the election cycle was for local elections. Everybody was doing.
Right. Let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
In most local elections, Democrats are winning in counties. Democrats are winning in the state on the same ballot. And then when the ballot will be turned in, a Democrat be the one all the way down the ballot, and Harris lost. They were going in there and doing something. And Elon Musk is a genius. Evil, but a genius. Racist, but a genius. And something went down.
But Rick,
yes, sir.
Rick, I'm gonna have to yield against that. I'm not gonna say he's a genius. I think he's tactical enough to do things that other people are not doing, but he's by far nowhere close to being a genius because all those.
I'll say this. What I mean by that, because he builds rockets.
But Rick, right. Other people are doing that. He just has the finances.
Right. Okay. I see. Bro. I'm not trying to praise him in anything. I'm saying I'm not trying to praise him in any kind of way, Baron. I'm saying, but he knew how to manipulate those machines, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know how to do it. So whatever way, like I'm a genius in another way. I feel like when it comes down to history, when it comes down to biblical and spiritual stuff and scripture, God is blessed in that area. He's blessed in the area of computers and technology and algorithms and programming and coding. That's what I'm talking about. And he did some kind of coding and all that kind of stuff and found a way. And Trump knew it.
All right, so
Trump would dance for 45 minutes. He said, I ain't got to do nothing but dance up here. We already got it. He knew it.
All right, so let's look at it logically, right? So I'm gonna break it down for you. Let's say they did do that, right? So here's what you would have to do. One, to do that, you got to do it in such a way to make it hard for everybody to know you did it. So you have to put in randomness across the whole situation so you can't find it. Currently, that's real difficult to do. Two, you actually got to know like what areas do hand voting, and they do it where there's no electronic, and then you got to get people locally in those areas to then coordinate to do it this way. Then three, you got to get your hands on electronic ballots either beforehand from all the shipping and everything, put the code in there to do it, and then get it back once it does it and delete the code. And nobody else knows that you're doing it.
Man.
And then four, you got to pay off everybody enough that nobody snitches and nobody blackmails you to bring it out that you did all this and keep everybody quiet.
No, I don't think a lot of humans was involved. I think the machines were involved. The machines,
but that's what I'm saying. Like the machines they were using, they're using multiple different vendors on those machines, and they're not hooked up like you think they are. Like I worked in Maricopa on the machine particularly for that, and so I know like how that machine works, pretty in and out. And that's what I'm saying. Like you would have to have teams of 5 people in multiple states, all coordinating this at one time to then pull it off in such a way that you can't find the proof enough with the smoking gun. And what I'm saying is you just can't physically do that today in the environment of how voting does. It's better off to just it's better off to spend your money on ads, convincing people of stupid stuff than it is to try to do what I just stated. Like you're better off just spending the money running ads to tell people, hey, I'm gonna build a border wall. I'm gonna do that. Like literally convincing people through social media and media is easier than to rig the actual vote itself.
Hey, Mr. Spikes, if you can, I can't see him. Read those comments.
Mary C says, I pray the Democrats get busy on 2026. Amen. She's responding to what you said.
I think it's a couple of Sean is saying, are you saying the level of tomfoolery hasn't been done in the past?
I believe it has, man.
Yeah, I do think
they lead the debate, and it's okay. I like the debate.
I do think locally, though,
we can sing together, but we can't talk together.
I do think locally there are some jurisdictions that did do things to mess the vote up. So I'm not saying it didn't happen in certain areas, especially when you do a hand counting. Like hand counting is the easiest way to cheat. And so the people that want to do hand counting, they're probably cheating. Because think about it, right? You got to send the hand count to one person and they got to count it and recount it, and one person has access to all the votes.
But
the
see,
odds of them cheating is easy.
Ron, see, this is where I'm kind of a little perplexed at. Okay, see, Riggins has got his strong belief that something has happened. David is a statistician, so to speak, that have worked on this. That's basically saying that it's almost impossible for this to happen. So when you add this on the other side of the MAGA, of those with the conspiracy theories, and see, it's like everybody's reality is something totally different than what reality is. Now, I have to go with the facts, and I'm not. This is not to dispel what Riggins is saying, but David is telling me that we can think that this can happen, but it's almost impossible to do it on a large scale. Now, locally, or when you condense it down, maybe it can happen, but on a large. But I believe in Riggins so much, and I know that he's passionate about what his beliefs are. So the question is, who do you believe? I mean, go ahead.
Think about it, right? If you could do it, Biden would have never won, because you just keep redoing it over and over again. Like, you're never going to let somebody else win.
But here's the argument. Pastor, go ahead and go, and I'm going to come in.
Trump thought it was going to happen with him against Biden. He had a strong person in place to prevent it from happening, and Biden won. Biden was sick, lying, just trying to survive, didn't put nobody in place, and all elections are local. I'm saying that on a local level. All you do is shave off here, shave off there, because if you lose just a little bit here, a little bit there, guess what? You get the whole state.
But you got to coordinate that. And you tell me all those people are not going to, like, you're telling me like all those people locally are going to keep their mouth shut. Like right now, I can say, okay, if I got 10 million, I'm like, let's put it right now. I got 10 million. If somebody right now rigged the election locally, I'll give you 10 million. You tell me somebody won't come forward and be like, hey, I'll take the 10 million and go to jail because they only paid me $100K to do that.
Hey, David, what I'm saying is, and this is where I might be wrong, I'm saying that whoever is behind putting the machines in there, I know you don't want to believe that part. I'm not talking about we're going to recruit people, because people are fickle. Somebody going to snitch at some point. I think the people that they even got whatever way they did it with the intelligence, not the genius of Elon Musk, but the intelligence of him knowing how to do stuff like this. That's some kind of way people was something in the machines had to go wrong. But why did less people vote in 2024 than 2020?
Yeah, I'm not disputing that number. That's what I'm saying. I'm not disputing. But let's be honest, like Elon Musk is not programming anything himself. Okay, let's be clear. One of those guys, like the only guy in there that can do programming, honestly, is Mark Zuckerberg on Meta. So Elon ain't doing it personally. So that means he is paying somebody to do that, and he's paying that person to do it right and be quiet. And then when Trump dogged him out and kicked him out and all that, you tell me he not gonna then rat him out?
He almost.
Yeah, you know what?
Like he wanted to. Because whoever he's paying is on his payroll anyway.
Riggins.
Yeah.
Riggins, read the comment that's out there. Sean is a graduate of Georgia Institute of
Technology. I believe using technology is easier to manipulate results. It's proprietary code, managed and understood by few. So that's what I'm saying. Sean is saying what I'm saying, that there's coding that only a few people know how to do it, and the right person is paid the right way and on his payroll, not a politician, not somebody working for the county, but on Elon Musk's payroll.
But you gotta do every state and every county.
No, all they did was I'm saying it's a few counties.
No, but you don't know. You don't know which counties
in Michigan. The state we should have won.
But that's what I'm saying. You don't know that ahead of time, right? When you program the machine does not have internet while it's happening real time in those machines. They purposely don't have internet. They don't connect to the wire. They're not on the Wi-Fi. So you have to know real time where you need that change to happen. And then somebody has to then program 100 machines to do that. I'm not saying it couldn't be done, but why wouldn't you believe that? No.
Hold on, Ricky. Let him finish, Ricky.
But what I'm saying is this, why would you want to believe that and not believe that you're willing to spend $58 million to just run ads and social media and convince people to vote the way you want them to vote? Because that's what people do right now when they're stealing your social identity, right? When they steal your social identity, like when they talk about scams, those people just target the weak-minded folks and say, hey, oh, I'm AT&T. You can't get your internet. Please give me your password and code. It is easier to steal your information that way than it is to do the scheme that you're talking about. And most people take the easy way out.
They will say one more thing, and I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not saying, this is what I'm saying. The votes got purged. I don't care what people say. They say secret ballot. Yeah, when you close the curtain, they don't know what Reagan's did, but they know that 50,000 people voted like Reagan's Democrat. Let me give you an example. They know 20,000 people voted Republican. We put it in, we're going to purge some of these Democratic votes. That's what I'm trying to say. The purging boy.
I'm saying
stuff. They said they purged.
I'm not saying that didn't happen locally for the ones that are doing like manual work. If you're counting it by hand, then yes, you can purge those and do that. What I'm saying is, yes, was there a certain level of people cheating? I believe on both sides of the house to the point where they canceled each other out. Some Democrats is trying to do it locally and some Republicans. So they end up canceling themselves out. But as far as a whole, to do it enough where you can guarantee that one person is going to win, I'm saying you can't do that in the current environment. Now, 10 years from now, you may be able to do that. But today, you can't do it to guarantee. Because think about it. Let
me just interject one thing in on this. And I think both of y'all will agree with this. One thing about the way the current election system is set up, by the time they tabulate all that stuff and figure it out, the other person already conceded during the election because it's going to take days to figure out if the machines were rigged. It's going to take so much, and they just don't have that kind of time. And I think that our current election system that's in place doesn't allow for somebody to set up the system, and after they set it up, for the other person to come back and say, you know what, I think something's going on with the election because of the way it was ran. That person is conceding the election within, 24 hours, yes. 36 hours? Well, they're conceding. That's the same thing that happened with Hillary. Hillary had conceded.
Now, I do believe
the election based on the.
I do believe all the elections should be electronic, and then there should be a government agency that handles that and reviews it after everything happens to make sure everything happened the way it is. Because if it's not all electronic, you can't find the smoking gun. That's the problem. If you got a lot of people doing it by hand, you can't find the smoking gun because they burnt the election results or they got rid of them. If they're all electronic, then you have them going where they need to, then you can look and find the smoking gun and know because everybody's playing level field. So I think there's a way of doing it where they are electronic to help prevent any issues that's happening in the future. But the fact that we don't all do it the same way. Also, you got like 2 states. They actually count the votes different than every other state in the U.S. Like I think Maine and another state, they count them totally different.
Maine and Nebraska, yeah.
Hey,
now you got a program that
we got these comments on the radio.
I agree with what D is saying, and I want you to go back because Sean said something that I want to see. D says positive, but this man worked behind the walls, watching our voting work. So wouldn't you think that he has the facts correct? I truly believe when there's paper trail, it's actually easier to cheat. So she's saying that when there's a paper trail, it's easier to cheat. But Sean put something on there.
Let me go back to Sean.
A couple of things right before that one. Let's keep going. Go back. Okay, I believe using technology to manipulate results is prepared to proprietary code, managed and understood by few. Now let's go with it said next. Are you saying this level of Trump through? No. Go
Hey, Ron.
follow the other way. Go follow the other way.
Hey, Ron.
Yeah, man.
If you don't mind, put the number up. Sean, if you're out there listening, call in because you're a tech guy too, and add a little bit more to what David is saying, or give us your version of what you think may or may not. Because remember, the goal is to enlighten and inform, not to throw out theories or all that other kind of stuff. But I do understand. I like what David is saying because it's coming from an analytical side. But Riggins is again passionate about what his beliefs are, but I'm kind of David is kind of helping me out with regards, because this would have to be the most well coordinated thing in the history, and it would have to work perfect. And like he said, if you win one time, that means
keep doing it.
You're gonna keep doing it. Yeah,
you ain't gonna stop. I like the CIA can't even keep secrets.
Hey, Sean, call on in, man.
Stuff where they did bombings and kill people, and you're saying that the biggest secret known to man is not gonna come out? Like, come on, like
it's gonna come out. Like the Mueller report came out. It might take time, but it'll come out.
Like I said, I do believe there is some level of cheating, but I think it's on the manual side.
Yeah,
the election on the voting boxes side is way harder to do it. And honestly, I don't think people want to go that route. Like when people hack you, right? They tell you right now, the only people that hack you and do a brute force hack are other governments. Normal hackers, they find the sucker, the easiest people to get. And they go the easiest way because that's the whole point. Do easy job, get the most amount of money. And 80% of Americans are like that in tech.
Well,
they're not going to take the hard route. They're going to go the easy route. So it's easy to give money. And a lot of people on social media and do all the ads and everything and just convince you to vote that way. That's way easier.
Hey, Sean.
He said call not
Sean
working.
trying to call. He said it's not working.
I don't.
Come on, Mr. Spike.
I know. I switched telephones, and
Spikes, come on.
If you know Sean's number, just text him my number, Glass. Just text him my number if you know Sean.
Yeah.
It'll ring.
If he called my phone, what'd happen?
We could hear it, but we won't have the direct response.
All right.
That's why I say just give him my number and have him call my.
He said he think it was him. He said put the number back up. He think it may have been him.
Okay, let me put it.
Because I can't see the comments.
Yeah.
I just switched telephones, so if you don't ring, Sean.
832-856-5964.
Now I do believe in with the AI world and things like that. I know in the future it'll be a lot more possible, but you also got to be a lot more standardization. That will make stuff easier when you standardize everything. Then it's easier to do certain things because it's easier to code that. But the way we have it set up is so convoluted. I'm surprised, hell, we get some of the local votes right in time.
Here it come. It came through.
What did Sean got to say?
Call from
Sean.
I got to go and push one, y'all. Just keep talking.
To send a voicemail, press 2.
Yes, sir, Mr. But David, I'm appreciate you.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Thanks, Sean.
You guys hear me?
Yes, sir. Hey, Sean, you're a tech guy like David. Give us, again, we're not going one against other, but give us an insight that we may or may not have heard based on your assessment and what could have may or may not have happened.
Well, I'm just throwing out a different opinion on how I know that technology can manipulate information. So what I do know is that, physical counting is one way, but I do believe that it's much easier within code, whether it be firmware or whether it be the information when it's dumping. I don't know exactly how these counts are working, but I do know at each individual machine, there's a bit of code written in there, whether it be firmware or operating system, whatever it is. And that can be controlled or manipulated if it's not being monitored, which could be monitored someplace else. So there is a possibility that a person with a lot of money, a lot of reach, a lot of influence can control the results. It's possible. I'm not saying it's likely, but it is possible. And it is not hard when you are writing code.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that to say that it's such a hard scheme to do, no. Code is
well, okay. So I agree with you, but you got to coordinate all those machines
I understand.
and do all that. That's what I'm saying is when you look at the risk, right? When you look at the number, can it be done? Theoretically, yes. Now, you think Elon Musk is doing it himself? No. So now you got to hire a team of people. So now you add more people in there and you got to coordinate all those machines and make sure they're doing just enough that you get away with what you want without people being unnoticed. And I'm like, when you tie all those different algorithms and everything together, the odds are it's easier to manipulate.
I got a question for everybody that's out here. Now, that rocket is taking off, going up in the air, landing back down on Earth, and all the rest of that. He ain't touching none of that. Right. He probably couldn't tell you which button to push to get that rocket to take off. But what he does have is what Sean said earlier. He has resources and money and other people that's out there, because it goes back to that argument that I made with you earlier, David. If the coding is already in the machine before they sit it in the house, it don't have to connect to the internet, because they can take certain batches. And once it starts reaching a certain parameter, they can that can process out a lot of votes from there. And I could be wrong.
You got to know, David. You got to know each state.
No, let me add one thing.
How they count it, and then you got to put in a certain amount of randomness.
Okay. Do me a favor. Go ahead and ask your question, Pastor, and then we're gonna let David respond.
Hold on. Wait. Don't keep the caller on the line. Let him finish his comment.
Go ahead, Sean. We're gonna all yield to you.
I think that was it. And you raised the point too. Elon Musk, I agree with you, Baron. He's not so much a genius as he has the resources to hire these people to do this for them. And I do believe I don't think a lot of hands were in the writing of this code. I don't believe. Usually there's not a whole lot of people who know the secret sauce when you're writing code, because too many people, that's a problem for leaking and keeping your proprietary stuff proprietary. That's why sometimes they have one group do this, one group do that, and they bring it together in the middle. But I do believe that there are not a lot of people that will probably have to be convinced or kept quiet. Just a handful, in my opinion. And this is conspiracy talk right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe that it is possible to manipulate votes if you control the tool that's counting them. So,
hey, Ron,
I agree with you.
Hold on, David. Just hold on just a minute. Go
Ron,
ahead.
You got a comment out there, Riggins. Can you read that?
I'm going to read it, and it's going to tie to my comment. David, are you saying the probability of each election station being rigged in favor of one candidate in every county across the entire USA statistically impossible?
No, that's not what he said.
Right. But this is what I'm saying, though. It didn't take that. You remember what Trump was saying? Go to Philadelphia. Go to Detroit. Go to Chicago. Go here. Go there. All you got to do is go to those thick Democratic voting counties. Squeeze the votes out of those and make them, when the man be on the wall talking about if we can get so many more on this to get darker blue or darker red, just squeeze some out of each one of those areas, and he barely wins the state, and he gets the whole state because of the what? Voting by what do we call it when each state has a what? Electoral college. Yes, that's what I'm saying. How it happened, I believe.
Right. And so
just go to just the thick blue counties, purge votes with the code, and then I don't know how he lost Pennsylvania. When Biden won so good in 2020,
okay,
less black folks came out and voted. No, they purged their votes. Now leave it right there.
Let me just do this. I'm David. I'm gonna let you respond to that. Jasmine Lily, I want to thank you for your response. Thank you for coming out and responding. I hope this is not your last time coming to the show, because it's about to get rough out here.
And would you want to call in?
No.
Huh?
Would you like to call in?
Yeah, because if you want to call in, I'll put up the number, because we can stay here just a little bit longer. Then we're going to get out of here. David, go ahead and make your response.
So all I'm saying is I'm not saying it ain't possible. What I'm saying is if you look at it, which way do you believe somebody would go if there's an easier path to get the same results? Like if I can think about it, right? If I can manipulate people through social media, through ads and everything legally, where you can't question it, and I can put as much money to it as I want, why would I not pick that route and do something that illegal that if you were able to find the smoking gun, you literally could put me behind bars when I can get the same results with both?
Let me read this again. Trump have how many convictions? How many felonies? How many times he pleaded the fifth? How evil is he? Trump don't care. Trump didn't have nothing with Project 2025. He's running from that. I don't know 2025. I don't know what Project 2025 is. He's running from what he could put out there legally. George Bush would have done it legally. Romney would have done it legally. Gerald Ford would have done it legally. Ronald Reagan would have done it legally. But Trump, not Trump. He's a Russian agent. Well, he's not going to do nothing legally.
My thing is, all right, last thing. If he got away with it, you think he could keep quiet?
Man, I'll tell you what, man.
If he got away with it like that, you think he could keep quiet? He would be bragging his ass off to everybody that could hear about how he did this and did that.
He told Mike Johnson. He said, Mike Johnson, don't we have a plan? We already got a plan.
Trump ain't that good. He ain't that good. He gonna take the record.
Give everybody a chance to kind of. We're gonna have to get out of here soon because I can see you and Pastor gonna be going at it for a while. But we're gonna kind of save this thing and put it in a direction. If you want to call in within the next 5 minutes, because we're gonna kind of get everybody to say what they feel. We're going to get everybody to kind of close out the show. And David, since you sit in tonight, we're going to go with you. And Pastor, you know when it gets to you, what you got to do, right?
Yes, sir, yeah.
So David, go ahead and do what you got to do.
Yeah, just working in government and working with certain companies and stuff, on IT and programming. I think people give more credit to how smart they think people are and how well they can coordinate and do things. And a lot of this stuff is luck. Like a lot of these folks are not as good as you think they are to really do things. They just happen to be in adversarial. They just happen to be in great position, and they take advantage of stuff that fall in their lap. They don't really create what we think they create. They just happen to be there, and they make good decisions to get there to a certain degree, and they do that. And so that's why I like to think that for that to happen, they would have to be so good at their job to be able to pull that off, to the point where they could really do anything and keep doing it. And I don't think they're that smart enough. I don't think the Lord would give them that type of knowledge and coordination to do it that way. So that's why I also don't think it's possible.
Byron Glass, come on back in here before I give it to Pastor Regan, because only thing I'm gonna do is make my comments at the end. Come on, Pastor.
Mr. Spikes, I don't have anything to add because I'm sitting here more or less listening again because I'm trying to distinguish the difference between the two, because see, what I don't like is living off conspiracy theories. If there's somebody who can provide me statistical information one way or the other, I believe that all things are possible. But I also believe what David is saying, that you would really have to have a concerted effort, number one. Number two, at some point, somebody's going to want to tell that this secret took place because it'll be the mystery of the entire century. And number three, I think locally things can happen. I think you can manipulate things, but can you manipulate it to the point where, certain things will always happen? And I guess we'll see that in 2026, because if they have a pattern to win from here on out, unless the other side be able to distinguish it, Trump will be in there for here on out. So I guess it remains to be seen, but I'm gonna digress.
No, read that comment before I give it to Pastor, because it's
Biden. He said they cheated, and everyone said no, he did the same thing. Trump couldn't have.
Come on, David, we're gonna give you one, and then we're gonna
read my comment. Jasmine, thank you for. Oh, you want David to read it?
Clarifies that I do not believe it is possible. Think about how many plants a candidate would need to code each voting, and that's what we're saying. We're not saying that it's not possible. And what I'll say, Ron, is this, and then I'll be done. I don't think we're there yet. We may get there at some point, but it would be awfully I mean, you would have to really. That's just like saying George Soros put 7 million people out to protest the No King's Day. This man ain't paid no 7 million people, no money to go out. It's, so people, Rick, is not to you. People get it in their head, and it seems to be real, but in reality, it's not. There's a rule of thumb and there's reality. At the end of the day, I think both of you guys are right. Riggins, I think you're right, and David, I think you're right.
Also, I think too, Pastor, I think it's a lot easier to believe that a handful of people rigged it than to agree that 70% of the population actually wanted that man.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You think about, like, they believed in what he was saying enough to say, put him in office.
I guarantee you ain't 70% now.
That is scary, right? That is scary to think that 70% of America wanted him in there.
No day.
Now, I'm saying now, the reason why I'm proven wrong, they know me since 2015. But remember, I stood up on that Mueller report deal, and it proved out to be true about what happened with Hillary Clinton and the Russians and all that. So until I'm proven wrong, I'm not saying that every station.
But Rick, what was proven on the Mueller report?
That the Russians interfered with the election and got involved in Ohio and a couple other. Remember, I got the Mueller report. I have it. I got it.
I ain't never heard that.
Yeah, that's what happened. That's why when Bill Barr came up there and said, we don't need to read this. And the second part of the Mueller report was Trump, what they call, what they call it? He like when you get involved in stopping investigations and stuff. The first part was he was with the Russians involved in helping rig the election in Ohio and a couple other states in which he won. And then the second part was he interfered with them investigating it. But Bill Barr said, let's see here.
I also think that the Russians did not attack the actual code though.
No.
So all right. So think about that, right? If Russia and China is not the one attacking the electoral box, but then, which they got smart people to do that potentially, but now you're saying Trump and these people can do it. They went the easy way. Russia went the easy way and did social media, disinformation, and all that. So that's kind of proving my point right there. They didn't go after the actual election voting box.
Hey, Sean,
way harder to do.
Sean says, guys, Teslas are updated remotely. It's possible to touch updated all devices before going active. But Sean, again, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to go against, but my belief is that I think it's on its way to happening. But to have a full scale, it's somebody. I mean, you got too many variables there for nobody to say nothing about it. In my opinion,
it was not full scale, guys. It was not full scale. Okay, do y'all ever watch the election results all the way through all night long? I watch them. I'm a historian, right? You know that guy be on the board and they be talking about either be on CNN.
Rick, that's Steve Karnak. But I watch
Steve Karnak on MSC.
That's what I'm saying. The Russians didn't do that.
All right, guys, let's talk.
I'm talking about
but the Russians didn't do that, right?
I'm not talking about the Russians.
I'm saying when the Russians decide to invade and help with our election.
No, I'm talking about Elon Musk in this last election.
Yeah, I get that, right? But most people take what somebody else has done and they elaborate on it. They don't make up the number.
Elon Musk came from South Africa. He didn't come from no Russia. You know what he was doing.
I think one of the things that we need to do. We're gonna have to table this argument.
Well, I hope Elon. I think then put it this way: if we want to win, Democrats, let's give Elon Musk some money and rig the election for us next time. So now we fixed it. Let's not fix the issue. Let's just pay Elon Musk to rig it for us.
I tell you what Russia did. They created a lot of propaganda to persuade people. I would say that because we went through that, Glass. Mm-hmm. You remember when we was doing radio shows, right. They would call in and they would rig.
They took my Facebook page. They took my Facebook. They said I was a politician Cambridge, remember Cambridge, what the name of that place was? Cambridge something. They took over me and George Nelson Facebook page and changed our profile to politicians.
So we need to start working Elon Musk right now so we can win the election next year.
You know, Harris did say that the Biden administration made a mistake by not reaching out to Musk.
Hey, well, now we found out what happened. We now need to take advantage. Because think about it, right? Hey, I'm okay. We can win it on both fronts. We can organize grassroots, get Elon Musk to help us do it, and get more people to vote. Like, let's do all of them.
Yeah. But Elon Musk didn't respond to they.
He already not happy with Trump and talking about he tries to create his own voting group or whatever. So let's just get him to help us.
But see, I think
we give Musk too much until they took away them incentives on those electric cars that they was giving for Tesla.
We'll add them back. Democrats will add them back.
Hey man, look, hey David, I enjoy the because see that's iron sharpens iron. So we're not sitting on the corner drinking like winos and crying about what happened in the 50s and 60s. We're really trying to debate issues that's really happening. So I like this, intelligent young African American men, whether we agree or disagree or disagree agreeably. I like how Sean is coming in. Sean has he's got his own cred and that kind of stuff too. And me and BG and Ron, we go at it sometime anyway. So I like this, brother. I like
see that's the thing though, Rick. That's the thing. Nobody's going at it. I think everybody feels
in a nice way, yeah.
Yeah, everybody's passionate about their thoughts and beliefs. I'm always able to shift, especially if somebody's provided more viable information than what I'm actually doing. Yeah. I think things are subject to happen. I don't think we're there yet, but if we don't put a grip on what's being done, we will be there. It's going to be easier and quicker to do it now because AI is going to be the game changer since the creation almost, because what you're doing is you're creating a whole nother life and a whole nother imagination that people are going to have to grasp too. But again, David is providing some very interesting information that's allowed me to go out. Ron, of course, we want to be able to thank everybody who always text, decide to listen in, decide to engage. Of course, we got them out there from Baton Rouge, Atlanta, Texas, Louisiana. So we got listeners that are out there. But again, Ron, it's getting more desperate now because the Supreme Court is getting in. This guy, Department of Justice, the ICE. I mean, we got too many things to be going on to be sitting around, hollering about who's right, who's wrong. Hey, look, we all are right. We all are wrong. Let's band together and focus on the things that we know we need to focus on, which is trying to get somebody else in this office other than the person that's there.
And I'm like, if we believe they was able to do something to win it, I'm like, let's take advantage of it. If we find the smoking gun, don't tell them about it. Let's just use it to our advantage and win it. And then after we win it, then we tell them we found the smoking gun.
Yeah, I think Sean is saying,
don't rat ourselves out. Don't rat ourselves out. Let's find it and then use it to our advantage, and then we can tell them about it later.
Yeah. Tell you what, man, no king protest. We will not have a king. That's what we started tonight. We will not have a king. If we got to stand up and fight, let's fight. We got to fight all night, which way we can. We will not have a king. Yeah. Now, I don't think the founders, they said they didn't want a king. They never estimated what we'll be dealing with today. But it's not all lost yet. If we can win in 2026, we can flip this thing. That's what Baron Glass keeps saying. Yeah. So all the passion we have right now, all the debate, all the discussion is all channeling to one thing. We've got to do something in November 2026.
Absolutely. And Pastor, before you start your prayer, I just want you to say a prayer for a co-worker that lost her brother, and she's taking it kind of hard. And we gotta those kind of things about life we still gotta participate in. So
let me tell you, Ron, you know personally, and I know personally. Mm-hmm. Grief is hard. Mm-hmm. I've had grief over the last couple of years. I wish nobody in their life would have. Mm-hmm. So you're talking about. Yes, sir.
And so that saying, I understand, I feel, I can go with you. If you ain't never experienced it, you just lying.
Yeah, I'm coming about 2
You ain't
years.
gonna feel good to it. So, Pastor, I'm giving it to you. I just want to do that, and I'm gonna be quiet.
Yeah. Once again, we thank everyone for the opportunity to tune in tonight. We thank God for the platform we have, that we have a country where we can have a free voice and to say what we believe, and have been able not to be hiding somewhere and somebody trying to censor us. And Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to share with our brothers tonight, and even the ladies that came in and gave comments, and all that are listening live or archive, and for this platform. And as we talk about politics, we're going to stop and take a personal request for Ron's co-worker, lost her brother. You are the God of all comfort. You're the God of all peace. Even in the midnight hours, you hold us. You say you wipe every tear from our eye. And you say, I'll give you a peace that the world didn't give you. And you can soothe her soul, her mind, and give her strength. We give your name the praise for the strength that you give us in all things. And we can do all things through you. We leave this platform, but not your presence. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank God, thank God, thank God. And I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And Glass, just hang on just a second. Let me get off the air, because I want to say something. I can't say it on the air. Hey, just hang on. We ended the show, and thank you to each and every one that participated. Thank you, thank you, thank you.